Hi, T.S. Eliot in his poem The Wasteland said, April is the cruelest month. And it's really so. But then this is the season of spring. Shall I call it Corona Spring this time? As a homage to the great disaster happening on the world, coronavirus, COVID 19. But it has been a very surreal spring. Suddenly the word has gone mute, gone in the wind is a noisy combustion of our industrialized civilization. Gone is a repetitive cacophony of loudspeakers. Gone are the drones of motorized traffic. Gone are the screams of the aircraft searing the sky. And instead, we hear only one thing, and that is the trilling sound of the birds if we get up early in the morning. But then, despite the fact that the birds have reclaimed the sky, is it enough? Is this Corona spring a spring of renewal? Life has become an immersion in itself. And sometimes I feel what I read way back when I was doing my master's. Rachel Carson's book, The Silent Spring Upside Down. And this is a silent spring. For those who have forgotten, marine biologist Rachel had created waves in the world with a dramatic warning to the humanity against the unchecked use of the chemical pestilence and caused wholesale destruction of wildlife and the habitat. Today, ironically, her fear of a spring without voice has been actualized. And it's not because of the poisoned birds have fallen silent, but because the human beings have fallen silent. Who is going to be renewed? What is going to be renewed? I feel that when she wrote a book, it was dismissed by the powerful chemical industry as a part of panic mongering. She was dismissed as a woman who wanted to turn the earth over to the insect. But the scientific panel appointed by President Kennedy said that what she was saying is correct. She died. She died the day I passed my master's. But her warning still hangs in the air. And there's a quote from a book which Dr. Albert Schweitzer had used. Man has lost the capacity to foresee and to foretell. He will end by destroying the earth. Is coronavirus signaling the end of the earth? Day before yesterday, a banker was with me, and she was talking about the end of the world. And then I said to myself, no, it's not. It's the beginning of the new world order. Man did not foresee the insidious supremacy of virus that would forestall or help him forestall the absolutely devastating impact of COVID 19 on the economy of the world. Social media opens up and warns us about COVID 19. Pop songs are there, and there are reports that the Japanese sitcoms, even in translation, the threats are unmistakably clear. The 1952 Nobel Prize winner, Dr. Albert Schweitzer, has little time for the government. He warned that man can hardly even recognize the devil of his own creation. And as it is said, coronavirus is a creation, a sort of a bioterrorism. Some do say that it is a creation of US, others call it the Chinese virus. But whatever it may be, the industrial behemoths, the international institutions created by the government of the different countries, all of them combined, have fallen victim. Now, When we say spring is a time of renewal, it's also the time of death. There can be no renewal without death. Let's be very clear. If 75,000 plus people have died, according to the Hindu system, they are born into a new life. So death transcreates life and spring renews it. But who is going to die? The first casualty in the post COVID 19 period is going to be, or should be, United Nations and all the bodies of the United Nations, UNO, and all its bodies, whether UNDP, UNIDO, World Bank, everything, have failed demonstrably, absolutely without any doubt. Repeatedly, they have forfeited global respect. They are partisan, they are dishonest, they are not impartial, but they have their own access to grind. They have repeatedly betrayed humanity. They have betrayed the trust that was reposed in them by the people. And their infertility of their brain in their working is a model for the other bloated bureaucracies to imitate them. So there has to be renewal of the global organization, global financial institutions, and global bodies which foresee and impact your life, my life, our life. So, specifically in this present crisis, the most objectionable role has been played by WHO. WHO was expected to come forward as a flag bearer leading a concerted, coordinated action against the pandemic. Instead, it behaved like a ducking agony aunt, overpaid, underworked international civil servants have wrung their unsoiled hands and then washed out in sanitized bathrooms before issuing homeless to the third world countries, telling them, wash your hands. They wash their hands of responsibility. Blood is on their hand. Blood of the 75,000 people till now is in the hands of the WHO. And by no stretch of imagination can WHO get exonerated, get rid of this guilt. So the first casualty would be UNO and its bodies, and second is going to be WHO. And now comes another victim, and that's the armament industry. Nothing has exposed the futility, uselessness of the global defense expenditure as this pandemic. Now, tangentially, the ignorance of the first world leader. They used to say God created war. And I remember Mark Twain writing, war was created so Americans could learn geography. And that's a fact. Americans, by and large, are one of the most ignorant people I have seen. For them, most of them, India is still not what it is. For them, Middle East came into being because of Syria and Iran and Iraq and Kuwait, or Saudi petrodollars. And then, if I look at the history, US President Eisenhower was too close to be flippant. When he left the White House, he used certain words of caution about the dangerous conduct of immense military establishment and a large arms industry. Himself a general, the supreme commander of the Allied forces during the Second World War, it was he who warned against arms industry, and that warning has gone RE. His successor, President Trump, tried his level best with his slogan America First, and it has yielded US an unexpected, unwelcome, in this macabre COVID-19 race. US is running very fast to get the first position in the place where more people are dying. Today it's at the third position after Spain and Italy. And you can be sure in a couple of days it shall have the unenviable position as number one, justified. And they say openly, well, if old people die, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't. Because for them also, this is a spring of renewal. Now, my question is, what President Eisenhower, Schweitzer, and Carson premature prophets? Or were they simply timely fools? Were they right then? Or are they right now? If they are right now, they were wrong at that time. But then does it matter? Pandemics like war do not determine who is right. These tragedies, these disasters, whether it's a war or whether it's a pandemic, decides only one thing: who is left? Left alive. It's not who is right and wrong. It is who has gone and who is left, for whom the renewal is due, and who has passed the expiry date, and yet there is no hope of renewal. And in this vital maelstrom, it's useful to step outside history. Evolutionary biologist Duncan tells us that the life on the earth evolved some 10 billion years ago and evolved out of literally nothing. By its very nature, evolution, he said, never looks to the future. So, are we today at the end of the civilization, as that young banker was saying? And not only her, many people are saying that this is the end of the world, or is it a sense of renewal? But then let me tell you one thing: man always needs hope and survival of his species. More important than human species, let's be very clear. If the whole humanity dies, I may not shed a single tear. If there's a restoration of balance between the new species that is created and the fellow occupants of this beautiful world, there's a question of balance. The tragedy of this world has been that the man, by virtue of being a bit more intelligent and bit more aggressive, has wiped out the other species. When you go to the cities, do you ever see a butterfly? When it's a dark, do you ever see a glowworm? But now there's a hope for the butterflies and the glowworms to come back. And that's a revival, and that is basically what I would say renewal of life. This restoration of balance was required, and coronavirus is a means of restoring that balance. As a matter of fact, spring should be a sound, not a season. It's a sound of the life coming alive. It's a sound of the newborn child. It's the sound of the sparrows soaring up. It's the sound of the fish delving into the water. It's the sound of the waves striking the rocks on the shore. It's the sound of the waters falling in the spring. It's the sound of the leaves rustling in the wind. It's the sound of the men and women laughing in joy and also weeping at the tragedy, thinking what man has made of man. Can we think that way? That this corona spring would be a renewal of hope, hope that sustains life, that creates life? Or is it asking too much? Think about it. And you would find that yes, this is the renewal of life. This is not something to be dejected about. something to be sad about, but it's something to be jubilant about. Come, new world, new life, better life, more balanced life, and then enjoy that future of life as it's coming. Thank you.